Lads, it's Spurs and that, yeah. Yeah. Anduin's in his second season and that, yeah. One of the worst matches of football I have seen in a long, long time, and I see a lot of Cheshire League football. It was just such a poor I mean, maybe it was the perfect representation of both our club seasons, but it was such a poor representation of what I've seen either club produce this season. Some of you are going to say that's exactly what United have produced all season, and maybe you got a point on that. Man. I said we'll have to take the positives out of losing. Obviously, I don't want United to ever not win anything, but in the circumstances being what they are, we're going to have to take the fact that no European football next season should mean the ability to focus on the Premier League, should mean that we end up with a top 6 finish. I believe that anyway. Is there any point analysing this game? Does it matter how this game went? I've seen this a million times. This performance, not necessarily just from United, but like one team gets a goal, the other team sits back and just hunkers down, holds on. Who played well? I thought Lenny Euro played well. And that might be it. I thought Ahmad looked like the most likely to score for United, as did Garnacho when he came on, even though they didn't technically produce anything of note. I thought they were the most likely to make something happen. Who played bad? Luke Shaw, Rasmus Hojlund, and sadly, with the season that he's had, Bruno Fernandes. I thought the gaffer got his tactics wrong tonight. Now, there wasn't a million cards he could have played tonight. There wasn't. It's not like he had a whole host of tools at his disposal and he could have played them in 7 or 8 different ways. He didn't. And I'll take that. I'll accept that. However, a couple of things happen when you line us up in the manner that you did. The team that I went with, I think it only had the one change to what we went with, and that was Ugarte in and Shaw out. But it would have fundamentally changed how it would have worked with Yoro Mazraoui, Maguire being the back three. You bring Ahmad a little bit further off, have him engaging a little bit higher. You get Bruno a little bit higher up, and you have Mount higher up. Mount, I don't think he did anything wrong. We didn't really do anything. And how that would have changed the game is I thought United had... Bruno didn't really get in the game, I don't think. And when he was getting in the game, he was far too deep. And with Bruno and Casemiro, what you've got is 2 players that have got match-winning ability in them, especially in big games like this. But you're asking both of them to do a sort of inferior substandard job as your number 6 to be able to keep a lid on what can be a dangerous Spurs side. I think if you have Ugarte, you can almost trust Ugarte to do the coverage job. And then you can focus on the attack. And you can put in a much more aggressive attacking team. United, I know we had a lot of chances. We did. We had a lot of chances. And a lot of them came late in the game when we really just sort of sent it up. We had 16 shots. We didn't create an XG of even 1. 8.85 we got. Theirs was 1.01. 512 passes. Couldn't create a fucking chance worth a wank. Maybe Luke Shaw's was a good chance. But he's ended up putting it pretty much right at the keeper, hasn't he? You know, maybe Hojlund's was a good chance. Unbelievable clearance off the line. So maybe I got that wrong. Maybe we did actually create some chances, but arguably not enough for 500 fucking passes. And clearly, Wasn't even an XG of 1. So even though there was a couple of decent chances in there, they weren't fucking mega chances. But we could have been a little bit more front foot aggressive with a team that's just known for... Like, you've just given a fucking clean sheet to a team that can't keep clean sheets. So I think the gaffer got it wrong. Like I said, he's not got a million tactics. Like, you're starting with Hojlund. You're playing with 10 men. And I got increasingly frustrated just watching him sort of track the ball. And the ball comes to him. And he does nothing. He doesn't attempt to win the duel as it comes. He just sort of waits to get clattered. And half of the times that the ball comes to him, he could have won it. What does this mean going into the season? What does it mean coming into this season? He's under enormous pressure. You've just lost a game to Spurs. Fucking Spurs. It is a tough one to take, you know. It is. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't give a fuck about Europa League. I give a fuck about United winning trophies. And so should every fan. Really. What it means is we have now had, by far and away, the worst season Manchester United I've had in my match-going lifetime, at least. And like I said to people a few weeks ago, and plenty of you disagreed, and that's fine, you can disagree, but it's what I believe. I think this is worse than the team that got relegated. I really believe it's worse than the team that got relegated. And I think the manager goes into next season now without the same... I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came second and third. The pressure changed a little bit with signing of Varane, Ronaldo and Sancho. And it went a bit west, and people didn't have the patience to stick it out, and he lost his job. And the reason behind him losing the job, or one of the major narratives around him losing his job, was he can't get us over the line in a final. He's had, you know, some decent runs deep into cup competitions. He can't get us over the line in the final. But at the same time, that didn't save Erik ten Hag, who got us over the line in a couple of finals, winning 2 finals in 2 seasons. It starts to go slip a little bit. I know that Ineos had taken over, and that's a dangerous time for a manager, but it starts to slip a little bit, and he's on his ear as well. So what does that project for Ruben Amorim? He's just had our worst league finish, and it can even get worse with the probable loss to Aston Villa at the weekend. And the fact that you've just allowed Tottenham to beat you in a Europa League final. He's not got the safety net of, well, he won something. A safety net which wasn't good enough for Erik ten Hag. And he's certainly not got the back-to-back second and third Champions League place finishes that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had whilst playing some of our fucking best football. The squad is a million miles away from competing. But can Ineos recruit that well in the summer that we go, well, do you know what? Maybe we can compete. Now, I do think that you've got half a chance of finishing in the top 6 on the basis of only 1 game a week. But again, is that alone going to be enough? You're still going to have to recruit well. You're still going to need a striker that actually can do anything. Please give me your thoughts. I welcome your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.